All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good to see all of you. Just want to remind you that throughout this session, if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat to the right of your screen there. Also want to give a shout out to Aaron, who will be monitoring those questions, and he is our tech guy for the day. So let's go ahead and get started. Petu Washte. Good afternoon, everyone. Tahilapi Maniwi Machiapi. My name is Jillian Waln. I am Sicangu Lakota from what's known as the Rosewood Sioux Tribe here in South Dakota. I work and lead our marketing and storytelling department. I'd like to start this afternoon off by first saying thank you for being here today. Thank you for being a great supporter of our work, whether that's been through donations, uplifting our stories, following our social media, reading our newsletter, or just by simply being a good friend. I see some familiar faces in the room today, so it's really good to see you. Y'all have been really great relatives and amazing supporters. So we just really appreciate all of you for being with us today. So, in yesterday's session, we covered our economic development sector and we highlighted our work around housing, economic development, and energy. And so, with that being said, if you're familiar with our work, you know that we do have a very large ecosystem. So, I just wanted to take a minute to reiterate that we are a large ecosystem that consists of for profit and nonprofit entities, as well as a native owned CDFI. And so when we first got started, and when our leadership had to take on the responsibility of growing this organization, our leadership really understood that in order for us to improve our local economy, we also needed to make a big investment in community and make community a priority. And so that's how our branch of our Community Development Corporation was started. So we also focus on revitalizing our Lakota language, improving our community's overall health, growing our local food systems through our food sovereignty initiative, and of course, taking lead in our education through our Lakota Immersion School. And, we just recognize that in order for us to reach success for our people and to make change, we just, of course, knew that this investment needed to be made, and it's been thriving. This ecosystem is quite unique, and I think that's what has made it very successful. We really support each other through different ways in the work that we get to do every day. And since there is so much to cover in all of these different initiatives that we have broken these sessions up into 3 different days. So there's yesterday's, today's, and then tomorrow, if you have an interest in learning more about food, land, and our work in health, then you can still register for those sessions that will be, or for that session that will be happening tomorrow. So, with that being said, let's jump into today's discussion around learning, language, and Lakota culture. I do want to share with you some different ways that you can support us right now, starting today. You can if you have your phone on you, take a picture of the QR code. And through that QR code, you can share feedback with us from today's session. You can ask questions. It'll also give you an opportunity to connect with anyone from our team afterward. And then we have a weekly newsletter that goes out, and we cover all the work that we do across the board. We have different topics that we cover every week, and it really has been something that the community and our partners really appreciate. So you can subscribe to our newsletter. The link is in the chat. And we just need your email, and I promise you'll love the newsletters. And then we just ask that you also share any sort of materials with somebody who isn't here today. Be an advocate for us, talk about the work that we do. It really is through those interpersonal relationships that uplifts work like Sicangu Co. and other organizations like us. And then in this next slide here, I just wanted to briefly talk about our central services team. Our central services team supports our entire ecosystem. And you can see on the slide here, we have HR, we have finance, accounting, our development team, our marketing team. As an ecosystem that is doing something that is very innovative and honestly, at times, very difficult, our leadership recognized a need that we had, and they made a great decision to make a much needed investment in our central services. So, our central services team is truly at the core of how we're able to function and make all of this work possible. Having this core central services team has provided full-time jobs to all of the names you see listed on the screen there. And I think that's just another big part of the work to be proud of because we're able to invest in individuals, and it's honestly made all the difference in the way that we're able to function and support the different initiatives within Sicangu. And next up, I'm actually going to pass it over to Aaron, our tech man for the day. He will be playing a video that's brought to you by our amazing CEO, Colombe, who, of course, helps push all of this work forward.
Hello, my name is Colombe. I am the CEO of the Rosebud Economic Development Corporation, or REDCO, as well as a board member for the Sicangu Community Development Corporation and Tatanka Funds. Also an enrolled member of the Sicangu Lakota or Rosebud Sioux Tribe. The three entities I just said, REDCO, the Sicangu CDC, and Tatanka Funds, make up the Sicangu ecosystem. What you're going to hear from our teams about this week is the work that the ecosystem is doing to improve the lives of the Sicangu. We're doing this in a very unique way. It all started with REDCO, founded in 1999 as the economic arm of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe. As work progressed with REDCO, we found needs within the community that were not being addressed, such as preserving our language, education, food systems and sovereignty, health of our tribal members. We started initiatives to work on that and then created the Sicangu Community Development Corporation. Also a large financial services need, which our emerging CDFI Tatanka Funds is looking at doing. As the CEO of the business side of all this, I'm making sure that we are investing some of our profits to help continue these initiatives to grow. Our main way of doing that is through in-kind services, providing administrative services such as finance, payroll, HR, and the like. That is going to be our biggest focus of growth in 2025. In 2024 and before, we have grown by 70 jobs in the ecosystem. I started in 2017. We had about 25 employees. At the end of 2025, we had close to 90. It's great growth. It's only one of the problems is we didn't match our back office support with that. We started doing that in 2024 and we'll continue in 2025, adding administrative executive positions, continued support HR, marketing, development, as well as adding multiple jobs in our finance staff, all helping to protect our investments in these and allow our professionals that work in these initiatives to focus on that while creating these other new jobs, ensuring that we're doing the best for our shareholders, the Sicangu. Again, we've added about 70 jobs in the last 10 years and looking to add 10 or 20 more, which is awesome. One problem with that we're running into is space, especially in our back office and at the school. Another one of the major issues that we're facing this year is the freeze on federal funding and the chaos of this current administration. So here throughout the week, we've built incredible momentum over the past few years, but this freeze and clawback of federal funding is threatening that. It's threatening to distract our team from focusing on the important work they're doing. That work is extremely important for our community. They need and deserve this. Rather than planning community events or preparing for spring programs, members of our staff are now working countless hours developing multiple contingency plans, which include significant cutbacks to many of our programs, slowing momentum. This past week confirmed our fears when we unexpectedly received termination letter of one of our signed federal awards. Since receiving that news, we are operating under the assumption it's only a matter of time before more funding is clawed back. However, here at Sicangu Co., we never let any challenges define us. Our vision for a strong, thriving Tokeyahci is as strong as ever, and as you'll hear from our team, we have the pieces in place to create a better world for the next 7 generations. Thank you so much for our time. Thank you for being a partner of us. Mopila.
All right, so I'm really glad you got to hear a message from Clay. Of course, he talked about the amazing growth that we've had over the years and the investment that's been made to better support all of the different teams that we have within the ecosystem. And of course, with the territory comes the challenges, and Clay highlighted some of what those challenges are. But with the amazing team members that we have and with the awesome partners and supporters that we have, that back Sicangu Co., we know that we're going to be able to get through those challenges. So next up, I'm going to actually introduce our Director of Community Development, Mike Prate.
Me Tokeyahci, Tokeyahci, Mike Prate, Machapalo, Chantewashte Nape Choose Up. My name is Mike. I'm the Executive Director for Sicangu CDC, so one of the sister organizations under Sicangu Co., leading with community development. Forgive me if I lag at all. We have some crazy weather here in Rosebud today, a lot of blizzards, so we're fighting through that to be here and share this space with y'all. I'm grateful for everyone taking some time. Really honored and glad to be able to introduce today's session on learning language, Lakota way of life. You are going to hear from some incredible initiatives and team members who I'm very proud of and very grateful to work alongside. And we'll hear about some of the amazing and visionary work that's being done today to ensure that the Sicangu Lakota is going to be strong and healthy and live life on their terms now and for generations to come. And that's something that gives me a lot of hope. I wanted to share that a little bit. When I stepped into this role, I've been working with this organization since 2015. I'm originally from New York, born and raised, and have been a part of this work over the last 10 years. And when our previous CEO was getting ready to take a new job, I asked him when he was leaving for some advice, something to give me courage and some insight into how I could move forward in my own leadership journey. And one of the things he said was, when I have an opportunity is to share what some of my own motivation is for this work. Why does somebody who's not born and raised from this community believe so strongly in what we're doing and give so much time and effort into helping push forward this vision that the community has for how they want to live now and in the future. And I think I wanted to share, Clay, Jillian, both of them kind of pointed to we're in challenging times, not just here in Rosebud, but throughout the country as a whole and even internationally, throughout the globe. There's a lot of existential challenges that are before us as people. And I really take comfort and take courage from the work that we're doing on the ground day to day. When I think about the future that my own children will inherit, I know that the things that are happening day to day on the ground here in Rosebud are not just making life better for this community, but are also pointing to the kind of vision that we need to have for the future. I I believe that some of the most innovative work anywhere is happening in Indian country, but also happening right here in Sicangu Makoche. And beyond innovative, which maybe we always associate with technology or things like that, I see that the work is deeply value driven and driven by values that have allowed communities to thrive and be healthy and be happy for generations. And that is something that gives me a tremendous amount of courage, and I think is a great segue into the session that we're going to be having today around learning, how we help people reach their fullest potential with our learning and development department, and some of the amazing programs that they're running, and also for strengthening and giving vitality to the Lakota language and the Lakota way of life, whether through Wakanyeja Tokeyahci, our immersion school that you're going to hear from, or through Lakolya Waoniya, our adult language learning program. The intersection of workforce development, language revitalization, and cultural ways of being, I think, form a really strong base for some of the larger economic development and community development goals that Sicangu Co and Sicangu have. Um, More widely. So I'm gonna quiet down. We have such amazing team members on the call who are gonna present and talk about their programs. Very grateful to each of you for being here, for taking this time to be here with us and support. Happy to see so many familiar faces on the call. Yeah, thank you again. I am going to pass it back to Jillian, who's going to introduce our immersion school up first. Thank you. Colombe.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I'm really excited for you all to hear from our next speaker, Sage Fastdog, who is our head of school.
Oh, Betty wash day. Pejikota Shinkaluza Machapalo. Nadaya hippie. Wakanjiki Tokeyahci Iwogla. My name is Sage Fastdog. I'm glad all of you are here. I'm going to talk a little bit about our school today. So first, Wakanjiki Tokeyahci Wonspioti is it's an action, but it's also the way we think. We always think about our future. So Wakanjiki Tokeyahci means the children are first, but it means to always think about them first. So in anything we do, we always got to think of what we're doing right now is how is it going to impact us in the future. So in that planning there is thinking about how do we take control of our future, and one of the ways is through education. So we designed a school that would basically continue to prepare our kids academically and also to prepare them so that they're holistically well, but also to be secure in who they are and for fluency. So what we have is we have a so Wakanjiki Tokeyahci is a tribally community-based school. It has one leveled classroom, which is a kindergarten classroom, and it has two multi-level classrooms. And in those classrooms, you have fluent speakers, you have certified teachers, and you have a teacher assistants. One of the challenges that we have is how do we sustain a school when the program design allows you're supposed to take 5 years to design and create people, but because of the decline in fluent speakers in our area, we went ahead and just went and started the program and put the pieces in design in place. So we have a fluent speaker, certified teacher, and a TA there. It is our belief and through our model that we're able to produce speakers and produce teachers that are ready to prepare instructions in our medium language, which is Lakota. And through that way, our kids are able to add, they're to do they're able to do math. They're also able to do language arts. So we're able to do Lakota language arts. Kids love science, so that's not left out either. So in order to create this, you have to have experienced teachers that understand how to structure a classroom, what to do. And then you got to have fluent speakers that are open-minded to be able to teach the ones that are learning, the second language learners. And that way, this place becomes a place where you're learning, you're delivering education, at the same time you're practicing and sustaining the Lakota language. And then your TA, your teacher assistant, is sitting there, and their background is also in early childhood education or elementary education, and it's a 2-year program. So in that time, they're sitting there, they're observing, they're practicing, they're taking records, they're watching how students are, how they're learning,
what they're gathering artifacts to describe how the child is learning, and then they're sharing those with the teacher, and the teacher is giving them feedback on how that prepares them to design lesson plans for the following week or to adjust the next day's lessons. And through that program, we have two individuals that are able to create lessons, and this is their second year in the program, and they're able to take lead, and while the teacher steps away, and so it's well, we're not able to do this without given the opportunity, you know, and for us to sustain ourselves, we need to invest in our own, meaning in our own community. So because when you need teachers, you also need housing, but it just scaffolds up to the amount of things that are required to keep a program sustained. But I also wanted to share with you there. I have one of the teachers that is helping in coaching the TA, so she'll be coming on in a bit here. Um, there's a lot more I can tell you about what our program is, but I just wanted to share with you that if you take the time and invest in the program, and you continue to foster that program so that the people that are in it begin to see how they are impacting daily and also with their personal growth, but with their professional growth, it becomes a place where you become invested, holistically, because you see the outcome of it. And our kids, they get to see someone model that for them. What is being secure in your identity? And you're learning, you're not leaving the language behind, the culture is still with you. But I'm going to yield here, and I'm going to ask Tate Haukaas, Tate Wakanyeja to go ahead and come in and talk a little bit more how that works in our classroom.
Midakiapi Tatewa Kawi and Machiapi Lila Dayan Wachianke Exto. My name's Tatewa Kawi. I am really happy to be here to support the endeavors through Sicangu Co. I just to give you a quick background, I've been in education for 19 years. This is the start of my 19th year. I've taught in a public school and a private school, and coming to the Lakota Immersion School is just something I've never experienced. And I came in with a TA who has been there before me. She is a second language learner, and with Sage's support and the whole team support, I knew it was going to be a challenge, but I was up for it. And with the support of my TA, it really is amazing to have someone to work with. And being able to support me delivering content, in each area, but being able to translate it into Lakota and deliver that for us. And also just being a support to me in learning my learning language growth. And when I visit with Rachel and we check in at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, she's really come a long way, and being able from when I think back of when we started in September and even in July, looking at pacing guides, and the work she does now and the support, knowing where each one of our kids are at and learning. And yesterday was a good example. We put together some books in Lakota and we sent them home. She was able to read with them and just go through a story in Lakota. And I sat there and I listened and I watched. And it was really powerful to see such a young Wia going through this and teaching our kids. And so it's really empowering as a older Wia in this field to know that we have TAs that are being molded and having this experience to be able to work with our little ones and give them the language and the courage to speak, because learning a language is very powerful. And when I look at Rachel and the work she does in our classroom, it's very encouraging to know that we're doing a movement that isn't being done in any other school on our reservation. And I look at these children and to their use of their language, it's encouraging to say the least. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone for being here and giving us this time to share. And for me to be able to share the work that's being done that Sage has been leading for, the last 5-6 years, and to be a part of it is very special to me. So, Wopila.
Thanks, Tate. I was just wanted to, just share the TA program is a 2-year program in that in the third year the TA then will take a classroom. They'll be able to take a classroom. And so that's how we're trying to solve this challenge that we have with the shortage of teachers. Where it's not and but it's also a program that helps them be successful in what we're asking them to do. And that's really what it's about. It's really tied to who we are as Sicangu people. We always got to have all those time practice hours to get in to be successful, so that way we really have a positive impact. But our next speaker is going to be is Lakota Waoniya, and talk about their program there. So I'll yield for them. Pilamaya, thank you very much for listening.
So next up, we'll be bringing on Henry Quickbear, who is leading our Lakolya Waoniya program at Sicangu.
Tokeyahci. Henry Quickbear Senior much up below. Waoniya kilecha. Wanswitchake much hello. Hello, relatives. My name is Henry Quickbear Senior, and I'm the teacher for Waoniya. What Waoniya means is breathing life into the Lakota language. Waoniya is a paid holistic development experience centered on developing Lakota language fluency and strengthen Lakota lifeways. And I'd like to take this time to thank all the supporters and the Sicangu co-partners and the donors for their support. One of the success stories we have is we just wrapped up our first cohort, and we're excited to share our success and what's next for Waoniya. Some of the milestones of the program we had are the program was created to revitalize the Lakota language, and it started by being the first project of its kind that pays tribal members to learn the language full time. And I think that up to this point, Waoniya did its part in revitalizing by creating 5 new learners in the community, 5 new tribal members to speak the Lakota language. It also brought cultural identity to our learners by providing real life experiences around ceremony and cultural teachings. So Waoniya wasn't only a Lakota language program. It was we also taught the cultural part of it, and also the spiritual part. We practiced the spiritual part. We started with 7 and finished with 5. And each of these relatives, the learners, I called them, have their own Lakota language journeys, and it took them to positive places, and it showed them positive things. Some of the key achievements that we have are, well, the first main thing was the learners that came out of their shell. They're not shy anymore, because when the program first started, they were really shy. They hardly knew any Lakota words, and from there, this program brought them out. Now they can say a prayer in Lakota, and they can sing prayer songs anytime they're called on to. They're there. Most of the learners are becoming Lakota language teachers. This is important because there's a shortage on the reservation. Waoniya created 5 more teachers who are already actively sharing their knowledge. Also, right now, Waoniya is one of the top Lakota language resources on our Rosebud Reservation. We go into the local school districts to help share our knowledge. We helped with the Head Start program, and we also help the tribal programs, and we teach what the learners learned, they gave back to their communities. The learners themselves offer Lakota language classes in person and online, and they really utilize the social media platform. Waoniya also has faced challenges, and one of the biggest challenges, the financial resources. If we had financial resources, Waoniya could take more cultural trips that goes on hand in hand with our Lakota language teaching, so we can visit some of the sacred sites we have around the area. I know the program needs more Lakota language resources, and due to the lack of infrastructure of Rosewood, we needed a space to learn. And what's next for Lakolya? We'd like to, like I said, with more financial resources, we can bring in a new cohort, and we actually kept some of these learners as teachers. So now they're ready and willing to give what they learned back to the next cohort. The graduates, we recently had an honoring for them on January 30th, and they're excited to continue teaching. And you're going to hear directly from them in just a few minutes. Right now, we are building a solid curriculum. We're adding more lessons and creating more structure around the program. So with that, we're getting prepared for the next cohort so we can go in, because this is the first of its kind adult Lakota immersion school, and I think it's a really big success. So with that, I want to turn it over to our first learner, if she's on. I'd like to call on Natalie Bordeaux.
Hamidakapi, Natalie Bordeaux, and Machiapi na Sicangu Lakota and Matahan na Rosebud Reservation LYT. Hello, everybody. I'm a language learner. I joined the program because it said that it was offering cultural identity, and alongside the language, and so that really inspired me to sign up for it, and that's what it provided me over the past 3 years. I've come out of my shell, and now like I'm constantly thinking of ways to incorporate language into daily life, and I'm eager to help other people learn and translate things that they want translated. And overall, I think this program is really good. People with creative spark, or just it's really good. It really helped me with my language, my culture, and as a person. Thank you for giving us your time. Hechitu.
Thank you, Natalie. The next one will be Haylee Quickbear.
Let me see here. Okay. Hamadakyapi, Makomi Tajeki, Ishnamashdewe Majapi, Na Wasitue, Haylee Quickbear Majapi, Sicangu Lakota Matahan, Na Lakolya Wawashi Chamu. I guess why I joined the program was so I can have more of a personal connection to my culture. I grew up around the culture throughout my whole life, so then like being able to understand what the interpreters are saying or what the elders are saying, not only that, in the community too. This program has impacted me by fulfilling that goal. I am able to speak with my elders in the lodge now, or like ask questions in the lodge to an elder, and just be able to have that simple conversation. I felt like I was getting back into my roots with them, especially like my ancestors and all that. I feel like my language journey has impacted my life a lot because I recently started coaching and I get to impact the Wakanyeja like in the high school area age to start speaking it more and becoming more comfortable and not as embarrassed to speak it and like letting them know that it's okay to speak the language and trying to bring that back within the high school age area. So that's basically what I'm trying to do now and everything like that. So yeah, I'm just very thankful for this Lakolya program and being able to comprehend and speak it. So that's all I have to share for my today.
Aha, Pelamayalo, Haylee. Wanale, Hoshka, Colin. Ijo, Voglakin, Pela. Oka, Hoshka.
Mi Tokeyahci, Colin, Soje Machiapalo. Oh, I've been waiting to talk. Um, at the start of the program, I might have been the least shy. I used to work at the local radio station for about 5 years, and I had a little bit of experience with the language, but not too much. But I've always wanted to learn it. It's just like it's so difficult with having a job, children, school, other responsibilities in life, and so whenever I heard about this program, I just really understood the importance of preserving our language and getting to know the culture and everything. And so like I signed up right away, and I was just like, almost in tears whenever I got picked, because I was like, man, this is big right here. I'm gonna drop everything I'm doing, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna learn our language, and uh, even though I'm not like bashful and stuff, it was still like frustrating in the beginning. It gets frustrating from time to time, but there's like these learning curves that you reach different. You break through it every time you start to struggle, then you get used to it, and then next thing you know that saying that is easy, or whatever project we're on, it gets easier. But yeah, just continuing to use it every day. Like I think the biggest impact I myself have had in the community is just the small interactions between like if I see like any of the teachers from the language school, like Charlotte or someone, I'll say, and in public other people see us speaking Lakota to each other, and it encourages other people to want that. They want that for themselves. They want to be able to talk to each other in our language because that's who we are. And it was big having Henry there every day because like nothing um I needed his like hearing his validation for that. You're doing good. He never really like corrected me, like made me feel bad or nothing. It was always just like, in a kind way, he encouraged me to keep speaking, keep trying. Oh yeah, you almost had it. I think you meant it like this, and he'd say it. And just getting my confidence up led to other opportunities. I was able to be a part of the Lakota Avengers project up in Standing Rock, and I think I was the only person from Rosebud that was a part of the project. But they just kind of they heard about our program, and I have experience with speaking and the whole recording process with vocals. So I think that helped them selecting me, and I got the part of Lakota Thor, and I was able to meet Chris Hemsworth. With that project, all the original actors, they also understood the importance of our language and stuff, and they all wanted to be a part of the project. So I got to meet most of them on Zoom meetings and help them out with pronunciations and the language and everything. But yeah, I think having a fluent speaker part of the program is like it's like what would be the word, like invaluable. You know what I mean? Like you can't put a price on having someone who's it's their first language in the room with you, because for them it's easy and stuff, and so they're able to help us. But that's all I have. turn it back over to Henry. Hechituelo, Pilamaya.
One of the things is that our Waoniya failed to mention is we do go into a weekly NIPI so we can stay engaged with our cultural side, cultural identity. We also spread awareness and we continue support with our Facebook page on Waoniya Facebook page. So with that, I'd like to thank all the donors, partners, and learners, and I really encourage Lakota language speakers to keep speaking. Together, we are revitalizing our language for our future generations. Aho, Pilamaya Pilo.
Amazing. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Haylee. Thank you, Cole, for sharing your journey. I'm not sure if everyone has seen in the chat, but you can read more about the Lakota Avengers Project there. Aaron shared that for everybody to read through. So they've been doing an amazing job making a huge impact in the community. And, that's just 5 new learners, and seeing how much of an impact just the 5 of them could make is huge. So it's awesome to see that the next cohort will be coming soon. And next, I want to pass it over to our Director of Learning and Development, Jessica Larson.
Oh, there you go. Thanks, Jillian. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Larson, and I am the Learning and Development Director here at Sicangu Co. I'm really excited to be with y'all here today, and thank y'all for taking time out of your afternoons to hear from our amazing team members that we have here at Sicangu Co. The Learning and Development Department, where I work, we manage 6 different workforce development programs within the Sicangu Co ecosystem. And each of our programs are united by a shared vision of empowering participants with the knowledge and skills to be happy, helpful, and healthy leaders at work, home, and in the community. And we work with a variety of different audiences for these programs, but the main kind of audiences are youth leadership, like youth leadership and development, college students, and then emerging professionals. So our department, the Learning and Development Department, was established in September of 2021. And since that time, we have graduated 68 people who are either youth or different types of interns from a workforce development program. And of those 68 people, 29% of them have come back for a second internship or have transitioned into full-time employment here at Sicangu Co. In addition, we've also partnered and worked alongside 108 local educators who've developed 27 culturally relevant unit plans for students here in Rosebud. One of the things, so when we talk about our work and when we talk like externally about our work, one of the things that bubbles up is, oh, like you guys do, or you guys are in the business of workforce development. And while that is true, we feel that like the term workforce development is a bit constrictive. And the way that we look at our approach to human development is actually a lot more holistic. And so while each of our different programs focuses on technical skill development, we also intentionally incorporate opportunities for participants to grow their physical, spiritual, and emotional wellness. And so some examples of how this shows up, some like specific examples of how this shows up in our programming is equine therapy that we offer. We try to offer to all program participants, social emotional intelligence workshops, and family tree workshops and activities. But perhaps one of the most exciting things from this last year, when I think back to what we've accomplished, is how much our team has grown. And so in 2024, we welcomed 3 new team members, and just last week, we welcomed a 4th. And so I'm going to turn it over to them now and let them introduce themselves and share a little bit about why they do the work that they do.
Um, I can go. Hama Tokeyahci, Lydia, Yellow Hockey Machiapi. Um, Hi, good afternoon. My name is Lydia Yellowhawk, and I'm the Education Outreach Coordinator for L&D, and I joined the team a little over 9 months ago, and I work on two somewhat interrelated projects. And the first project that the first project that I work on is the Immersive Learning Experience and Rural Networking Program, or iLearn for short, which is now entering its fourth year at Sicangu, and it's a teacher development program for local educators in Rosebud. So we receive a lot of have a lot of teachers from a lot of different schools representing this program. And during this program, they are able to receive training in creating culturally relevant and land-based unit plans on STEM topics. And we do this in collaboration with a group of professors at South Dakota State University. And our main focus for this is a summer professional development that we do with the teachers. And it's a really hands-on professional development opportunity. And we bring in community members and speakers. And the second project that I work on is I design and manage the Sicangu NASA Star Knowledge Project. This is a new project, and it's a collaboration between NASA and our education department here in Rosebud. And as a part of this project, I'm creating the Sicangu NASA Summer Experience. And the goal of this is to enhance students' awareness and understanding of star knowledge from both Western and Lakota perspectives. Through this experience, students will engage in hands-on experiments, storytelling, and field trips to expose them to the star knowledge. So we're currently developing this experience. This is kind of the first of its kind. And so it's pretty neat to do this with our community and our partners and those within the ecosystem. And just a quick brief background on me is I'm from the Rosebud Reservation. I'm from a small community, Hedon community, and I'm a former teacher who worked in Rosebud as a middle school social studies and science teacher. I did that with Teach for America for 2 years. And I just recently graduated from UCLA with my master's in American Indian Studies. And one thing I appreciate about my position is how I'm able to incorporate my background and my experience into my projects, and do that within the do that with the opportunity of collaboration with those in our ecosystem. So, for example, we work closely with Henry and his class. They do a lot of the translations and different resources for our teachers in our newsletter. I Learn newsletter every month. And then with iLearn, some of the teachers from Sage's program, they participate in that as well. So it's pretty neat that we're all able to kind of collaborate within the ecosystem and help each other in that way. And I see every day the impact our team has on the Sicangu Lakota Yate, and I'm grateful to help the community in my role. And I appreciate everyone for listening to me, and I'll pass it on to Alexis.
Hami Dakyapi na Alexis Whitehead, Imachapi na Chante or Chante you han Chante washte na betu zapi na St. Francis awati na ashke guipi tioshpai down kushto. Hello, I greet you all with a heartful handshake. My name is Alexis Whitehat, and I am from the St. Francis community here on the Rosewood Reservation, as well as from the Ashke Guipi Tioshbe, which is just a way to identify our extended family. I'm the youth internship coordinator for learning and development. I have been here for a little over a year, and I manage and coordinate two of our programs. One of them is our 7 Gen Summer Youth Internship, which is an opportunity for local youth ages 16 to 24 to learn about the different career opportunities there are here on a reservation, more specifically here at Sicangu. They go through a 7-week internship where they learn about professional development skills, strengthening leadership skills. Um, they learn how to work within a team in a work environment. Um, and for a lot of those young people coming in, it's their first job experience. And so we just try to make the program a way that we can support them in the best way possible and giving them the resources that they need to be their best selves, for their family, community, and for our tribal nation. The second internship that we run is our college level internship for SU students. It is offered in the spring and fall. And so we are currently working on onboarding 2 interns for this semester. They work with us for 10 weeks, 10 to 12 hours. And they also participate in a weekly 3-hour PD training just to strengthen any professional development skills. One of our focuses is providing Native Nation rebuilder training. So we use the University of Arizona curriculum. But that's just kind of an overview of what I do. Um, and I really love the work that we do in learning and development, more specifically in my area, because we're creating opportunities for our young people where they do have to leave our reservation for um maybe a short or long period of time. They're able to still be home, comfortable where they're from, have the support of their family and friends. There isn't that stress of if something happens here, they have to somehow travel back home, if they're away at a program. So that's one thing I really like is that it's an opportunity for people that just don't feel the need or feel more comfortable here back home. And they just get the same resources and support that you would get off reservation. Um, and yeah, it's really amazing work being able to work with our young people. The biggest thing that I've seen in this last summer, it was my first summer being the coordinator for the 7 Gen internship, and throughout the entire summer, I saw not only changes in myself and my leadership, but I saw the changes in our interns. Um, at the beginning of the summer, they were very quiet, reserved, and kind of kept to themselves. But slowly throughout the internship, through different activities and sessions with myself, the ASEMs, or any of the programs that we're bringing into our into our internship, you slowly saw that change in them of they felt more confident in themselves and in what they wanted to pursue after high school or what they even wanted to pursue after the internship. And so it was really amazing to see that confidence building. They also learned how to work with new people, different types of people. What does it look to work in a team of, all these different personalities, mindsets, and they all came open-minded, came with a good attitude every day. So it was really awesome. How we try to do with the internship is give them some what would you say, like authority over what goes on. And so at the beginning of the summer, we created community guidelines that they proposed for themselves. And one of the guidelines we had was we smudged every morning. And so they held me accountable, even on the mornings where we're running a little bit behind or busy. They always made sure, like, Lexi, we have to smudge. We didn't smudge today. We have to start the day in a good way. Um, so it's just awesome to be able to extend these opportunities to our young people on Rosebud where they get to learn sometimes things that you don't get to learn until you leave the reservation. But they get to learn it at home with community members that they may already know, family members that are working with us. They get to learn it with the language, the culture, and yeah, overall, Sicangu is just a very special place to work, and it's creating a lot of good change in our communities. And yeah, thank you all for coming this afternoon and listening to some of the work that we do. I'll pass it off to Jewel.
Hello, everyone. I am the newest member of the Learning and Development Department. I am the new adult WEX coordinator. I will be managing the AmeriCorps Vista program, and I'm going to be developing the emerging professional cohorts as well. Small background, I was born and raised here, moved away to Colorado for about the last 10 years, and just wanted to come back and help build a community. Yeah, and then I'll pass that on to Lakeisha.
Okay, so I don't think that Lakeisha was able to join. If you're on, Lakeisha, feel free to hop in. But as we wrap up, if you're interested in learning more about what we do, follow the Sicangu Co. Facebook page. You can also visit the Learning and Development webpage. That's sicangu.co/growth. I'll put that in the chat. Feel free to reach out to us directly. Like many people have said on today's webinar at Sicangu Co., many of our learning and development programs are federally funded, and the future growth of our programming is uncertain amid the changes in the federal policies right now. And so we're always interested in exploring alternative funding streams and expanding partnerships so that we can continue to build a better world for future generations.
Great. Thank you, Jessica. And thank you to the Learning and Development team. It's been really beautiful to see the impact that they're making with our youth. I'm really excited. We'll actually be bringing an intern on in the marketing department, and this will allow that intern to get hands-on experience in working in storytelling, handling a camera, editing, running social media. And so Lexi really talked about this, being able to provide those experiences right there on Rosebud is something that is really amazing that the youth get to experience through the Learning and Development program. Well, everyone, we are actually at time. I hope that you were able to gain some knowledge about the work that we do. You can really see that each of the team members are, positive, friendly, and have a deep appreciation and a passion for the work that they get to be a part of every day at Sicangu Co. Just want to remind you all that you can definitely follow us on social media, Instagram at sicangu.co, Facebook, just type in Sicangu Co. will pop up. Want to remind you to please subscribe to our newsletter. The link there is in the chat as well. And then we also just ask for your advocacy. Again, when you're in a space to simply uplift Indigenous communities and work like ours, we really appreciate that. And then lastly, please take the survey. It is also in the chat. Provide us any feedback, any questions that you might have, or if you would like to connect with anybody specific that you heard from today, you can also do so through that survey there. Well, we just really appreciate you being here and got to see some familiar names in the room. So it's been great. Thank you for your time today, and we appreciate you for spending your afternoon with us. Wopila, Doksha, ke.